Hello, everyone. My name is Chad from the V3rmillion Missionary. Today, I am here with Syntrics. May you introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Syntrics. I'm the lead developer from Cholesterol.
Alright, and I have a few questions here today for you. And we can just get this started. Will you make gift cards an option for payment methods, like Steam currency, Roblox cards, things of that sort?
It's a good question, Chad. I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, gift cards, some people like to prefer to pay with gift cards because they can't, have access to PayPal and things like that, because of underage and not being 18. So I don't see a problem with things like Steam cards, Roblox cards, Amazon cards.
To lead up to that, do you think the price will ever be an issue? Like, do you think people will rather consider that the overall cost is too high, or in some cases, too low? Morally speaking, is it a hard set price?
Well, to be honest with you, when it comes to terms of how we thought of price, we put it together thinking of, as me and another developer is called Aspect. And Aspect, he basically works on the C# side, in the C# programming language, and does things like the user interface, all that boring stuff. That's boring to me. I'm not keen on that. But we sort of consider it with how much time we put into the project. Sort of what the project is worth in itself. Obviously we want to make a bit of profit from that because we've, given it our time, given it a bit of our all. I mean, if people do seem to think that the price is too high, then I'm all ears. I mean, if anyone's got any suggestions, then yeah, go for it. If you think there's a better suggesting price, I'll be happy to take any consideration. I'm more about what it can be to help others that want to improve their game experience within Roblox. So if that helps with the price being cheaper, then so be it. Let's make it cheaper.
Alright. And another question that I had was, do you think that your exploit will be more powerful and stable, like Synapse X or Sentinel?
Well, that's a good one. I mean, let's start off. We'll do this in sort of an order. Let's start off with Sentinel. We basically follow the same execution method as what Sentinel does. They use bytecode conversion, which is basically bytecode serialization, which basically is the same as what other exploits like back in the day, like RC7 used and things like that. When it comes to terms of execution, it's more of stability and how long it takes for the execution to run, if that makes sense. It's not more based on, who can run the biggest scripts. Obviously, that is the main thing. You want to have people to be able to put in whatever sort of script they want to run. But Sentinel is probably one of our main competitors. Moving on to Singapore Z or Syntrics, however people pronounce it. They are a tricky team to go against. I mean, I wouldn't really even want to compete with them because their execution method is one of its first. Like back in the day when you had virtual machine, which is a custom Lua virtual machine, so it basically runs off its own virtual machine and doesn't actually touch Roblox's base. So that is actually what Syntrics does for its execution. A lot of people say it's hooking to Roblox's VM, but it's not. It's actually that they are the first, team of developers to incorporate a custom virtual machine into their exploit, which is, I've got to say, could most likely be the most unpatchable exploit there is out on the Roblox exploiting market.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Alright, on to the next question. So, is Celestial going to be making any exclusive scripts?
We do have a couple of known Lua particular scripters in our Discord server who have personally reached out to IMA Spec and said, hey, if you want something like a custom script, that is based just for Celestial for your users or buyers to enjoy, yeah, we're all in, we'll do it. So, there'll probably be a way that we implement sort of like a custom function that basically checks on its own custom environment that if it is, Celestial executing that script, only Celestial can execute it. So, in a sense, yes, is the answer.
All right. And to follow up to that with how I mentioned it was rather popular, do you think that Celestial will be a success in the future?
It's going to be a long road. It's getting quite a lot of attention already, which is surprising. And I say that because, we're not even released yet, and the amount of support we've actually started to receive motivates you more. So the more I feel motivated, the more I dig in deeper, get my head stuck in, and focus on that aspect of Cholesterol's, stability and whatnot.
Yeah. All right. For a final question, you state frequently in your thread that it is rather simple to use. Would you consider it to be the most simple, or just more simple than some other more popular executors out at the moment?
I would say it would be more simple. We all follow the same concept. We got a script box, an execute button, so on, so on. But the difference with our UI is the fact of how it's more based on our customers or buyers' requests. So, for instance, if they say, "Oh, hey, we like the UI, perhaps take into consideration we want this and we want that," we'll then take that into consideration to make it simpler and easier for them. It's got your typical open file, save file. There is a lot, we need to do to improve it to be more of a simple UI. But we want to use that as a unique selling point, is how simple and easy it will be to use. There'll be none of that login shit you have to go through. Obviously, there'll be authentication, does it in the background. Literally just inject it into Roblox. Along you go.
Yeah. So it will be relatively simple to use. Yeah, I know what you mean. All right. And those were all the questions that I had today. I thank you for being here, and I thank the people listening in. I have been Chad from the V3rmillion Missionary, and this was my guest, Syntrics. Would you like to say anything?
Buy cholesterol.
Yeah. Promotions are there. Hello everyone. I just wanted to give a little little question. I wanted to know if I could get more feedback on these interviews. Of course, there are positive and negative reviews. I do have some flaws. Obviously, I am stuttering sometimes. I say a lot. That is a bad habit that I have that I myself will get over eventually. If there's really, honestly, anything else, like quality, anything of that sort, if there's anything wrong with the interviews, please tell me. I listen to your feedback. I listen to these comments that you make, and I actually put them into execution in the next one. I try to improve. I want to improve for you, the listener. I want to improve for you. Thank you dearly.